We need to talk about airports, knowing how to get through the airports safely. Come with me and I will share with you my experience as a flight attendant for many, many years. Not only domestic flying, but international flying, which is very different. Come with me, let's begin. Airports. How do you get through TSA security? First of all, there's a huge difference between getting through U.S. destinations as far as airports within the United States versus international. The international can vary all over the map, particularly Germany. One time I can get through with no problem, another time they're going to stop me. They are not as friendly, and France is not as friendly as, say, the UK, the Irish, or some other destinations. So let's really get into the weeds of what to do if you're wearing a wig and you get stopped. First of all, don't panic. Remember, everyone around you, they're not really watching you. They're more concerned about themselves getting through TSA or even international destinations. But also, you have to be very mindful. No matter how careful you are, the most important thing is to know that you could be just a random selection. Yes, they randomly will select by a numbering system from your suitcase to actually patting you down. And even you sometimes in the US, you have to hold out your hands and they actually are going to test to see if you have any kind of drug residue on your hands. Don't fret. Most likely, these are just being part of the random investigation. When it comes to international, I can't get into the variety of how different countries do it. But I will share one thing, one general rule, at least I do when flying internationally. I just don't wear my wig. And I will share with you what I do as soon as I get through security. But let's get back to the US and a discussion here. But let's say you're wearing your wig for the very first time and you're scared to death that it's going to go beep on you, or you might be a random selection. When they pull you aside, particularly if you're a woman, generally it's the protocol that a woman has to actually wand you and go down your entire body. But when you're close to her, you can kind of tell her quietly, I'm wearing a wig, just FYI. And if for some reason you need me to take it off, I'd be happy to, but I want privacy. In other words, always be honest, always be upfront, and tell her that you have a wig on, because when they start patting you down, they're going to feel that the whole head feels just really strange. It's going to be very suspicious, not so much to the veteran TSA official, but for the new person working. They're trained in everything, but they're also trained when they do this, say to your head, that they are going to be suspicious. And if you let them know up front, I have a wig on, then that is going to allow them to make a decision whether or not they need you to take it off or not. But all of a sudden, it's in their court to make that decision. And most time, because you were so honest and upfront, they're just going to let it pass. They're not going to want you to take off your wig, which means that you don't have to go into a private room and take it off. But being upfront, being honest with them, that would totally diffuse the situation, and you won't be a suspect. Now, let's get into the wigs itself. You have to understand that all wigs are different. And if your wig has any of these metal clips like this, these little combs, a lot of times these are in actually your human hair or biological hair type wigs. They tend to be clipped into the cap. And the reason is because with a lot of these very fine manufacturers that make human hair wigs, basically it's all attached to the cap. So you do not need to wear a wig grip. You just have your own human hair. Perhaps you have it pulled back in a ponytail and you could just put this on. Also, a lot of times wigs will have not only the metal clip, which definitely it could cause at the airport, the little noise to go off. But also they have these little combs. You see here? And a lot of times we ourselves buy these combs and we sew them into our wigs. These are wonderful grips. Again, the purpose is so you don't have to wear a wig grip. You basically have the clips of these combs and these combs, metal combs here to kind of catch it under your nape area, and it really holds your wig on securely. So you need to take a look at your wig. How is it made? If your wig only has these small little metal things, usually at the bottom of the nape, the straps where you pull to actually cause it to be tightened, then the chances that these will cause it to go off, my analysis as far as percentage of the machines going off, and believe me, I have tested this at the TSA myself with taking these wigs and going through it, this did not really trigger it. But the little metal clips and these metal combs, they do many times trigger it. Now again, this is in the US. When it comes to international, absolutely it's going to trigger them and you're going to be pulled aside. So what do I recommend? I recommend, and this is what I do on my international travel, is that I just don't wear a wig. I'll either wear a cap or wear a bandana, but let me kind of show you. Let me just take off my wig, and I'll just take this off here, and I just have my hair. Basically, I pull my hair back, and usually I just kind of put it up in a bun, and that so when I'm getting ready to go through security. Obviously, I'm not going to have a problem, but I'm going to show you where I actually place my wig. I'm going to show you my suitcase. You see here? And it's this outside part right here on the very outside where I'll zip it. It's easy to get to. And it's actually in this outer, that's this first little pocket. You see? In fact, let me show you. It's just right there where I actually place my wig. Here, I put it in a satin bag. Remember, satin or silk is best to keep all your fibers together so they don't kind of all mesh together and become frizzy. And I place this actually in that zipper part. So when I go into the restroom, the bag is here. I can unzip the very front and I take out my tools. And I always have my little stick for my glue. I actually have it in here. I actually don't have it in that special bag that you're supposed to put just your liquids. But if I'm going to Germany, for some reason they tend to be very strict, I will put that in that really small little bag. But then that little bag goes right here too. So I have all the tools that I need. My little bag of liquids, plus my wig, plus I always have my wig brush, as well as I always like to carry keep it there, which is an alcohol water spray. That's just my personal choice. You can use even water yourself, warm up your hands, and you can use that to kind of press down if you have some fibers or you have some hairs that are just kind of not real slick. But that is really all you need to do as far as getting through security. And you know, I'm kind of finding it's just so easy to get through security, not have to say I have a wig and all this kind of stuff on. I just don't wear a wig. I'm beginning to do the same thing domestically. Now, domestically in the U.S., a lot of times you won't get stopped. But being that I do so much travel internationally, it's kind of a habit now for me to always put my wig in that outer pocket. But I wanted to share with you an experience from a flight crew person, myself, because so many videos are out there that saying it's no big deal. You won't get stopped. Everything's cool. Wear your wig. Well, you could be that random person that they're going to stop regardless, even if it doesn't trigger anything. So just be aware, but also be aware of how simple it is to actually be able to get through international TSA security checkpoints or within the U.S. by simply having your wig and all your tools are right there in that outside pocket of the bag, the roller bag that you are carrying, and not checking in. Have a great day.